So it seems like these Shroomz microdosing bars are sending people to hospitals all over the country. And I want to do a special episode on this because it's super important. I've got a lot of information for you to help you through this. Shroomz microdosing bars sending people to the hospital. Wow. I'm Dr. Dave. This is Microdose U. Welcome to my special episode.
Enter the world of magic mushrooms with Microdose U.
Hey there, welcome back. I am Dr. Dave. I'm doing this special episode kind of real quickly. I was just reading some headlines, then doing some research about these Shroomz, and Shroomz is spelled Shruumz. And just the typical headline, it's all over the place, but a typical headline: mushroom infused microdosing chocolate bars are sending people to the hospital. FDA warns against microdosing chocolate that sent six to the hospital. And I understand there's probably more than six at this point. Diamond Shroomz brand microdosing chocolate bars, people getting sick in 4 states. I think it's more than that, actually, more than 4 states now, eating Diamond Shroomz microdosing. Now, on the surface, it sounds like these are psilocybin infused chocolate bars called Shroom. The company is called Shroomz. They're telling people that they're let's see, the leading form of microdosing. I'm on Shroom's website right now, diamondshroomz.com. The leading form of microdosing. We've made microdosing a real treat for those seeking a subtle, sumptuous experience and a more creative state of mind. We're talking confections with a kick. If you like mushroom chocolate bars and want to mingle with some microdosing, check us out. We might just change how you see the world. Now, digging into this a little bit deeper, and these bars are not cheap. They're $25 a bar, which would be that'd be compatible with a magic mushroom or psilocybin chocolate bar. But digging deep into this, there's no psilocybin to be found in these bars at all, and there's no Anita muscaria. There's nothing. There's basically, do you know what you get when you get one of these bars? Let me scroll down to this and tell you exactly what mushrooms you're getting when you order one of these bars. Okay, so I got to tell you the truth. It's really, really tough, even on Diamond Shroom's website, diamondshroomz.com. They make it very difficult to find out what's in these edible chocolates, and some of them are gummies. But if you dig deep, it says they are not psychedelic. They're some proprietary blend of natural ingredients. There's no presence of psilocybin, amanita, or any scheduled drugs, ensuring a safe and enjoyable experience. Yes, safe and enjoyable because there's nothing in there. There's no psychedelic ingredient in there. So yes, safe and enjoyable, but safe and enjoyable means you might end up in the hospital. What are the mushrooms in here? What kind of mushrooms? It's a blend of nootropic mushrooms, which and again, it's really hard to find on their website. I challenge you to dig deep on their website and find what types of mushrooms. But there is some lion's mane, and what else is there? There's some. It's really hard to find, actually. Lion's mane mushroom. There's chaga mushroom and reishi mushroom. Now these mushrooms you can find in any health food store or Whole Foods or anything like that, and you get a bottle of them cheaper than one of these little chocolate bars. I'm calling this a bogus company. Now like they're not going to say they're bogus because they're selling mushroom infused chocolates, but again, when you dig deeper, it's misleading. It's very misleading because there's nothing psychedelic in these bars at all. Total just lion's mane and that type of mushroom. That there are benefits to these mushrooms, but when you start talking about a microdose or a macrodose of a chocolate bar mushroom, that leads anybody to believe that they're psychedelic. Because let me ask you another question: why in the world would you ever want to microdose lion's mane. People want a less than psychedelic dose. That's why you microdose psilocybin or you microdose anything, is you want less of a, you don't want a psychedelic dose. But tell me the reason why somebody would microdose lion's mane. That makes no sense at all. This is the most misleading thing I've ever seen. So why is this product, why are these chocolate bars sending people to the hospital all over the country? And the news outlets are making it sound like it's because it's a psychedelic chocolate bar, but it's not. I don't know the answer. The answer is probably because in any type of a food substance, when you're selling something that is ingested into the human body, into the digestive tract, there could be mold growing just from the production of these chocolate bars. There could be mold growing somewhere. They could be dirty or who knows, they've some kind of toxin got into the mix. But don't blame it on the news outlets. Are making it sound like microdosing chocolate bars sending people to the hospital. Don't do these. So you got to dig really deep, and you got to see that no, it's not. They're not psychedelic. They're not magic mushrooms. There's some bogus company that's selling these nootropic mushroom bars. They're calling them microdose and macrodose bars. And that's, again, terribly misleading and landing people in the hospital because obviously something has gone awry with their technique of producing these things in a clean manner. Something went wrong. But don't blame it on psychedelics because there's not a psychedelic drug to be found in these things at all. It's like taking a Hershey bar, eating a Hershey milk chocolate bar, and saying that you should never microdose because these Hershey bars went bad. I mean, it's basically the same thing. So what I'm saying is, okay, you're going to see this all over the news. This Shruumz company, Shruumz chocolate bars, microdosing mushroom chocolate bars are sending people to the hospital. So again, what's the first thing people think? Oh, microdosing is dangerous. Don't do it. Hey, I saw this article that you shouldn't microdose chocolate because these chocolate microdosing bars because you're going to end up in the hospital. I told you microdosing was dangerous. I told you these drugs are dangerous. Well, extremely misleading. Extremely misleading. And again, why would any sucker pay $25 for a chocolate bar with a tiny bit of these natural ingredient mushrooms in them that you can pick up at any Whole Foods or health food store, any store, or Amazon? You can get them anywhere. And like I said, generally a whole bottle of these things would be less expensive than one of those chocolate bars. This is horrible. Again, this is why I've always told you, make sure when you are using magic mushrooms, when you're using psilocybin magic mushrooms, make sure you purchase yours from a reliable person that you know of personally, or somebody that you know knows personally or knows about this grower personally. Don't take a chance using a company that you've never heard of, that nobody knows, because number one, chances are you're going to be scammed especially if you got it from Instagram or similar. You're going to be scammed. It's going to be just fake, or they're going to take your money. That's number one. And number two, if you're not really careful about what's in there, you might be buying something that looks like it's a mushroom microdosing bar, and it's simply lion's mane. What kind of a ripoff is that? And they're not being very open about this because, again, I go to their website. What is it? What did I say? It was diamondshroomz.com. What did I say it was? Let's look again. I want to make sure I give you the right one here. Diamondshroomz.com. And it's Shroomz is SHRUUMZ. SHRUUMZ. Diamondshroomz.com. Check out their website, and I challenge you to go find the actual ingredients, the mushroom ingredients in their edibles, in their chocolate bars. I challenge you, because they're there, but they're very hard to find, and that's what I call deception. A company like this should be out in the open, sharing exactly what's in their bars easily. Anybody can go on the website easily. You don't have to dig deep into 17 layers of pages to find that it's got lion's mane in it and nothing psychedelic. That is deception at its finest. Okay, I want to share this with you. Don't let the headlines scare you. These are not psilocybin chocolate bars. They're not really microdosing chocolate bars unless you call putting a tiny bit of lion's mane in a chocolate bar microdosing. I mean, technically, I guess it is, but again, that makes 0 cents, less than 0 cents, just makes none. So again, don't let these headlines scare you. And if anybody calls you up or messages you or emails you and tells you, "I told you you shouldn't be doing that," then you've got the information right now and say, "Mom, listen, these are not even magic mushrooms. It's some bogus company that's selling these things, and it's not what I do." If your mom is the one that's giving you a hard time about microdosing. So this has been a special episode. Remember, if you're brand new to me, if you've never heard of me before, but somehow this came up in a search somewhere, I'm Dr. Dave. This is Microdose U, and every single Wednesday and Friday, I put out a regular episode, and it's truly about microdosing magic mushrooms. It's not about this bogus stuff. Now, I've done episodes on lion's mane, and I believe in lion's mane, but I don't disguise it as microdosing in a chocolate bar. I don't do that. I'm totally upfront with you all. Totally. This is just crazy. I'm very disappointed in this company. But remember, yeah, I put out a regular episode, and check my back catalog of episodes because I got a ton, and I teach microdosing. No, and I don't sell anything. I don't sell any product. Do not ask me where to buy because I'm not dealing in sourcing whatsoever. I'm just sharing my personal story and my personal journey about how microdosing magic mushrooms has totally changed my life over 3 years. Started with depression and anxiety and all kinds of other funk that was going on in my life and in my body. And by learning how to microdose and using what I've just mentioned, magic mushrooms, totally turned my life around. That's what I talk about every single Wednesday and Friday. Check the show notes also for more resources. And my website is simply microdoseu.com. Microdose and then the letter U, Microdose U. No spaces, no dashes, no nothing. Just microdoseu.com. And again, at the end of I can't speak today. I don't know what's wrong with me, but at the end of every episode, I say I love you. And because it's true, I love you, my follower, my listener, Nakama. We are all Nakama here. I'll see you tomorrow because I've got a regular episode coming out on Wednesday. So yeah, stay tuned. Be with me. Love you. Dr. Dave, Microdose U.